Hey guys, my name is Nicholas Rose. This is my Spaceship Earth video project. Today we're going to be covering the effect of wind energy and the effect of wind turbines on birds. Namely, we're going to talk today about how wind turbines, striking wind turbines, and the disruptions of nesting habitat for migratory birds such as waterfowl, i.e. ducks and geese. So wind energy as a whole is becoming more and more common. You can't drive across the Midwest without seeing new wind development on almost any wind trip or any road trip that you take. It's almost possible to drive down the interstate for an extended period of time without seeing wind turbines or their parts being transported from here or there. We have giant operations such as the old Whirlpool facility in Galesburg, Illinois. That's employing over 150 people right now just to develop the wind farms up through Alpha anywhere to Joliet. So if you were to take a road trip across Illinois on the I-80 corridor from the Galesburg area over to Joliet, you'd pass 3 different wind farms with over 175 wind turbines. This is pretty cool because it doesn't have the same impact on the environment that nuclear energy does or that the extraction of coal does from the earth, but still there is a negative impact nonetheless. This comes from the fact that it does affect wildlife, especially birds, and their migration patterns. So in one incident in 2010 outside of Elkins, West Virginia at the Fort Laurel Wind Farm facility, they found over 500 birds dead one morning just from impact with the turbines at that one wind farm. You look back, if that was 2010, and wind energy has grown almost 37% nationwide since then. It's pretty crazy to think about how many birds are probably actually being struck each year by wind turbines. There's also the fact that all these wind farms are going up, if we just talk at a local level here in Illinois, and we talk about the wind farms that are going across I-80, they come directly in line with the Illinois River, which is obviously as the glaciers formed and panned out area across the northern Illinois region, we have created a lot of wetland, and this creates a lot of winter habitat for ducks and geese. And as wind farms dot the landscape going through there, they undeniably get in the way of waterfowl traveling north and south. So I've personally witnessed snow geese, lesser snow geese strike wind turbines, and that's really what got my interest going on this and why I started reading on it, why I chose to do it for this video presentation. Conservation organizations such as Ducks Unlimited and the Audubon Society are doing everything they can to educate wind companies right now to help mitigate the risk and the loss of avian lives. I'm all for clean energy, don't get me wrong, and I'm all for wind farms, but there has to be a point where we do have a consideration for the impact or for the wildlife that it affects. One of the interesting things that I found through my research was just how much wind farms affect nesting habitat choice for ducks and geese, especially mallard ducks. In a 2011 study, Ducks Unlimited was part of a radio tracking study along with the University of Wisconsin in North Dakota. So what they did is they put radio tracking collars on over 100 mallard hens and tracked them to see what their nesting preference was. As they found out over that nesting season, mallard hens just chose not to nest within a half mile of the wind turbines. And they're not sure if that's because of the noise, because of the disturbance, or whether it's because it disrupted their flight patterns coming in, but undoubtedly it had a huge impact. So, with a third of the continent's wild ducks and geese being bred in just the Dakotas alone, it's pretty crazy to think that as wind farms keep developing, that they have suitable habitat, wetland habitat, to nest and to grow their population, but the ducks and geese are just choosing not to use it because of all these unseen factors. Predation will always be a big deal for ducks and geese, and they don't know if that factors into this because ducks and geese can't hear, or whether it's the wind disturbance from the blades that are causing it. But it's no doubt having an impact on their nesting choices, which there's no way that doesn't create some problem population-wise. In one incident that I mentioned in my term paper, geese slaughtered wind turbines suspect, which was published by the Water Times Daily. There was an incident where 44 different snow geese were recovered along a roadway in upstate New York after having impact with wind turbines. As I said earlier, I'm all for the development of wind farms, the jobs they bring to our communities, the economic advantage we face. I pay a power bill too, and I'm all for a cheaper power bill. But at the end of the day, I hope that everybody can look past just the savings and see that there's got to be a way, or put our minds together to find a way to mitigate some of these risks and some of the losses to ducks and geese. Obviously, as a waterfowl hunter myself and somebody who's very passionate about wildlife, I hope that things continue on the trend that they are, and these research organizations stay involved the way that they are, and hopefully we can all do our part. I wish all the rest of my Spaceship Earth peers the best of luck with your video presentations, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.